Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Eating Peace today. I've been popping a lot on Facebook Live in a small private group just for people that are eating PCs and want to question their thoughts and doing that weekly live. So I haven't been on Facebook live as often, anywhere near as often, but good to be here today. So I want to talk about something that's extremely important when it comes to compulsion of any kind. At least it has been certainly for me, and I've seen it by working with people over the years, and that is the capacity to say no. Looking at this ability to say or not say no. Notice how easy that is to think about when it comes to the actual food. So we're either phenomenally amazing at saying no. We've got like an iron fist clamped down with castle walls 10 feet thick, and we are so able to say no that we are starving ourselves to death because there's no yeses in our thinking, in our behavior, in our aspect of life. Just can say no to everything nourishing and incoming. um, when it comes to the physical matter of food, when it comes to taking in something. And flip side going on almost at the same time, other side of the same coin, as we say, an inability to say no, and then eating. So I'm either, iron fisted with saying no, or any kind of no has completely left the building, and I'm just seeing food and eating it. I'm on the binge aspect of, I'm the overeating where I'm just not on my diet shutdown control mentality, and the flip flop in between, which many of us, especially my experience, was extreme flip flopping between both sides. One seemed to go hand in hand with the other. It's as if something was looking for a deep inner balance, here, and it would just go teeter tottering back and forth. So it doesn't matter if you have more of a tendency to be on one side or the other, where you feel like, you're living in one aspect of those far more often than the other. Both are going to be living and churning on the inside of you. I'm unable to say no to this, and I'm unable to say yes to that. So somehow knowing and feeling and being with both parts of life, as life dances, as we're dancing here with life, to be able to say yes and then to say no when it feels in integrity and honest and authentic is a really profound thing to learn. And it doesn't come easy at first. So in some of the courses and retreats that I do, we always have a segment that is around this, and we look back at family of origin, because sometimes it's very old, the parts of our lives where we begin to see when it's dangerous to say no, and when it's dangerous to say yes. The term assertiveness training often is around actually feeling an assertion of something, like being willing to say what your actual answer is. And a lot of times the focus is on saying no, because that feels like, to many people, it certainly did to me, like the more frightening thing. I kind of have a compulsive yes, and even if I'm not so sure, or yes, and then I'll think about it later. How can I get out of it? Or so there's something about the whole setup here in the mind that I really noticed within myself, especially when I was in the height of compulsive thinking and eating, was what would come out of my mouth is the word yes. And it never really meant it. Sometimes it did, and sometimes it didn't. But that was the safe word, yes, instead of no. Very interesting, because sometimes there would be a noticing that there's some automatic places where a no would come inside either my head or out of my mouth also. Didn't see those as easily, but I would just say no very automatically without having there be a yes. So there's no balance. So let's look at, though, the places that seem so difficult around saying no and why. So originally, I looked at this list in researching, and I got it from Zen Habit website, and I added to it. So let's say you want help. You want to help, and somebody is asking for your help. And you think, I'm a kind soul at heart. I don't want to turn people away. I say yes. I'm afraid of being rude. People will call me this word rude if I say no, especially if somebody's more senior. That's why we like to look at family of origin, because there's a parent or a leader or a boss or a teacher. You need to say yes to them. Wanting to be agreeable. So I just don't want to be outside of a group. I don't want to be an alien. I don't want to be rejected. I want to be a part and connected. So I'm an agreeable person. I'm an easy person to be with. So I say yes. Don't want to say no. Then it begins to come up a little bit into a higher level of risk, fear of conflict. If I say no, this other person might actually reject me outright or be angry. This might lead to a confrontation that's difficult. So dissent of some kind leads to even violence somewhere in the future. I don't want to risk that, so I don't say no. Fear of lost opportunities. I'm worried that if I say no to that, all doors will close forever and I won't have any other options, and I will regret later that I didn't say yes. Not burning bridges. Some people really do. It's back to the violence and fear of conflict. But some people, because they take no as a sign of rejection, which you can feel that inside yourself, this might lead to relationships being completely severed. So lost, abandoned, rejected, silenced, never to be seen again. So maybe not so much violence there, but just that it's done. And finally, you might think that you owe this person. So it's either perceived by you or by the other person that there's been an exchange and now there's a favor owed. So you need to say yes. So difficult considering the things that we face, but not impossible. I love noticing how difficult, as I said at the beginning, we've experienced our own inner conflict inside, battling it out. I want to say no, but I want to say yes, but I want to say no, but I want to say yes, right in the very compulsive behavior that we're looking at so closely. But is there more behind that? Just ask yourself, what do I want to say no to here? What do I want to say yes to? What am I saying no to when I'm feeling all that inner tension? Could I just stay a moment with my feelings, with the way I'm relating to the world and people, and take a look there? Maybe the food itself and the way I'm eating or the way I'm not eating is expressing something that I am not daring to say with words. It just feels too dangerous based on past experience. So fun to have a couple of ways to say no that we might have never imagined, because we'll just clamp down and be like, nope, don't go behind that door. Let's never learn that. So long, long ago, when I was beginning to really start to heal in my eating behavior, and it took several years. There was a rotation of movement into not understanding, then understanding more, and then not understanding, and then understanding more. Kind of like something would glow and then kind of go down again, then glow, and it would always kind of getting better and better and more relaxed. There would be flurries of times when it was worse or better. So that's all okay. There's no, set measurement in the mind. The mind loves to go like, I am getting better for sure, here in the timeline, or I am not getting better. And just to simply trust over that period. So that it did take some time. There wasn't no instant healing. In the midst of that, I took assertiveness training. I just was really drawn to it. A book came out about assertiveness training that got really popular, and it was the 1980s. And I signed up for a class and went to this class. And one thing that I loved learning, that was one of the pieces that I never forgot, was that you don't have to begin to explain or justify or talk about why you're saying no. You just broken record, as they called it. That's what we played music on, records. A broken record is something that where it's skipping. That's the image was when the needle is just skipping and coming back and playing the same little piece over and over and over and over again in the same way. So you're just repeating, 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 and not to worry so much about repeating yourself and not being upset that the person doesn't get you. So you just simply say, oh, I'm glad you asked, and no. Oh, thank you for sharing that, but no. I hear what you're saying, and no. No. Do you have another suggestion? I totally understand, and no. I hear you. I care about you, and no. I'm unable to do that right now. No. I'm scared to say no because there's a little bit of explanation there, but I really like that possibility. You have a close relationship with somebody. I'm scared to say no. I really like this one as look at that within yourself. I feel scared to say no to the food. I'm afraid of that empty space if there isn't compulsion filling it. I'm scared to say no here because actually journal it, write down. Why am I scared to say no? I'm scared to say no to you. As you think about a person, get your honest feelings and just consider it. And no. Oh, I can see that works for you. And no, I want to please you. I want to please you. And no, maybe there's another way. Thank you. And no. Oh, thank you. And no. No, that won't work for me. No, and I need your help and support. I need your help with this. And no, you're right. And no, I'm confused now. So until I get clear, it's a no. Now is not a good time for me. No. I hear you, and you could be right. And no. I can see you're excited, and I love your idea. And no. This doesn't meet my needs right now. No. I'm afraid of saying no to you right now, and I'd like your support. The answer for me is no. And I kind of like this one. I'm confused right now, so until I get clear, no. Feel how all that sounds, even if you're talking to the inner voice that is so upset with your no. It's upset with the body. The body is satisfied and full. The body doesn't need any food at the moment. The body has had plenty. The body is nourished. There could be some questions around that, but it's just a know that eating is not the thing that is matching what is really wanted or desired or necessary here in this moment. And so the body is kind of saying no to you, and the mind is having a hissy fit. And notice if we still, the mind also wants to find peace and balance. It would also love to rest and not just endlessly have a project here. So letting the inner dialogue relax, let the mind hear the no and have it be safe. Just notice with inquiry, wow, why is this so dangerous? What's going on here? Oh my God, what am I afraid of? Like the first list you can listen to again at the beginning. These are all these situations where no seems to be quite risky. And see, with this inquiry, that's for sure what's going to happen. That means danger, danger, danger. Is it true? Is it true if I say no to that food, I'll implode or I'll suffer or I'll be filled with anxiety and craving and it will never stop? Is that true? Is it true if I say no to that person who seems quite persistent, that they'll fire me, reject me, hate me, hit me, uh, leave me, abandon me? You see these things that we get afraid of, and they seem serious, and it's great to sit with them in inquiry, investigate, look at the 4 questions, and then wonder, who would you be without the story? Who would you be without the story? They will hate me. They won't like me. They'll be upset. They'll be crushed. They'll be hurt. They'll be so sad if I say no. I'll lose this relationship. I won't have this connection anymore. All the things that come, that they came alive for me. Really sat with it. Frightened, Ooh, like a anxiousness, as if you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, like in a corner. There's no way out. There's no safe road. It's a lose-lose situation all the way around. Either I lose or they lose. So I'd always pick them, is the way it would look, is I'd always pick, no, me. I'm the loser. At least I have this connection and they don't reject me and I don't make another person hurt or whatever. So I'll just say no to me. And of course, the loser then in the end is me. And I'm the one eating my head off or starving and purging my food and not being nourished. And it created a tremendous amount of suffering. And then the relationship wasn't very genuine anyway. So no matter how scary it is, it feels very, very important to learn how to just feel into your authentic yes, your authentic no, and actually say it imperfectly, the wrong way. But these are some suggestions. Hear which ones, write them all down, have them in front of you, and repeat them like a broken record. No need to defend, no need to explain, just be with it, slow it down. It's like who we are without our story. And notice the safety that presents itself that you might have never imagined was available. Lots of love.